trying to answer on your bone bridge. How much force, how much mass can a bone withstand before it breaks? Now keep that in the back of your mind, but we're going to tie that back in, if you will, as you construct your bone bridge. And I'm going to ask you why. Why did you build your bone bridge this way? Did you build your bone bridge this way because you thought it would withstand more? Because you were pretty confident in what was going to happen next, etc. That's as many as you get. Okay? Questions? Questions? Whole class, remember we finished today at 10, 11, 17. So I'll start coming around to measure about 11, 10. Did anybody not get? Oh, let's see. Did anybody not get or Q-tips? Any straw or you don't have any straw? Yep, let me get you a straw. Grab it. Ooh. Instead of a second straw, let's give you a pipette. It's a little bit more flexible, but also a little bit more firm. I was second straw. We're gonna use a why do I have a feeling that you're
I don't know.
engineering? Lexi, you did?
What do you think is the most important thing for us to talk about today?
I think whether or not that simple question, that leading question you talked about, was effective and was clear for the kids. Did they understand what they were going to do and then how it related back to the standard?
Okay. So when you were making your question, did you feel that the checklist helped you? Was there anything that you felt like you wanted to modify?
I think so. I think sometimes with inquiry labs, identify the skills students need to learn. We sometimes have to kind of remind them because they jump right in, especially if it's like a competition. Because today's activity was a group competition, which group could build the strongest bone bridge. And so they were off and running. And so several times I went back and said, now remember, we're trying to see how much that bone can withstand before it breaks, just like our bones can withstand a certain amount before they would fracture. And so I think that checklist was good because it reminded me to remind them that we needed to remember the point of the fun, not just that it was.
I think fun. That was a good thing from Mom's question too. That's what kept time.
Right.
Do you feel like that's what went well the best?
From the checklist? I think it wasn't hard to, you talked to me about how we needed to make sure we're addressing that meaningful topic. I think because Sunday in a Premier League game, there was a soccer player whose leg was fractured, just grossly fractured. And I had given them the opportunity to see that clip and then also to see the injury. If they chose to, they could look away. So they already knew, here's why really bone fractures are meaningful. And I think anatomy lends itself more easily than some of the other sciences to you're using it every day. If they walk in and everybody's sneezing and coughing and needing Kleenex, we tie that in. So I think the meaningful part wasn't very difficult. but reminding them why it was important. We've used this week, we actually assessed last Friday, Thursday and Friday. So this week we've gone back to see, okay, what did they maybe not quite get, or what did we rush through that we needed to go back and spend a little more time on. And so that enabled them to have fun today, but also remember
To tie back into
fractures.
that.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's good. What progress have you made towards that goal?
With using the checklist?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I think it's like, kind of like you said, that it's something that we're always going to be doing, and always looking back and saying, did I get that? Did I get this? And sometimes the way kids ask the question, then I'll realize, oh, I might need to make that language a little easier to understand. And so I think it's been helpful to kind of guide the process, but it is, like you said, a continual process.
Do you feel like that helps the students too when you remind them, okay, use this terminology, use these key concepts?
I do,
When you're
because I
explaining
think they get used to talking to each other, like you mentioned last week or last time, that they get used to mentioning to each other and just, oh, we're just building a bridge, we're just going to build a boat, it's supposed to be bone, come on, let's go. Whereas they can go back and say, okay, mine fractured. Oh, what kind of fracture was that if this were a real bone?
Right.
And that way we can go back and understand. So I think it kind of gives you that umbrella of go back, instead of using it as like a cane every single step. Kind of, it's up there.
Right.
And so we can kind of look back and say, oh, I got to pull this one down. So.
That's good. I think that's what we see about that movie. Okay. All right, so looking at for ways of improvement, do you want to keep using this strategy? Do you feel like there will be something more beneficial?
I think for now, that checklist can help them because I think I've incorporated similar checklists for them. We already, in a couple of our classes, have like a unit page. They know what's going, almost like a concept map for them. But I don't know that they've gone back to and checking their understanding. So I think the checklist idea right now is probably good. But we'll try to train them still in the beginning of the year to make sure. Okay, I think I got today. Do I understand overall how that relates?
Okay. How about the learning strategies? Is there anything, because we had talked about when we say prompt them to use it last time we met, we said, well, maybe we need to explain that prior to, and give them options. Do you feel like that was?
I think, like we said, the checklist is a continuing process. And so over that whole year or unit, we can go back and say, you actually were using inquiry, or you actually were constructing an argument with SER. And so we can, just like we were talking about using, that language easy to understand, we also can use the language that we mean education needs-wise, and then they can understand more those new science and engineering practices where it's construct, analyze, argue, etc. So, yeah.
That's good. So for now, we're good with
I think so,
keeping the checklist. How about keeping the goal as your teaching strategy of using effective guiding questions? Do you feel like that's still a good goal that you?
I do. I think tying it in with ICANN statement also helps.
Learning targets?
Because then we can say, your target today is, at the end of the class, can you look at an x-ray and diagnose possible fractures?
That's good.
Can you? So, not just using that effective guiding question, but then the effective reflection question. Could they do what we had set today as a learning target, or this week as a learning target?
Oh, that's really good. If you had to do this all over again, what would be something that you would change? Or would you change anything?
I think maybe informing them what we're doing. We're going to start with a guiding question. And this should guide your learning through this week or through this unit. So I think informing them, not kind of hoping they get it, but literally being just kind of on purpose, saying, we're going to start using a guiding question. Can you answer that question? If not today, can you answer it at the end of the week? Is it going to help you kind of pace your learning to figure out if you need to ask us questions back? And so I think just being purposeful on that and saying, I am intentionally going to incorporate that strategy.
One thing that can be challenging too is letting them have that time and being okay with, what, I can't answer this today, and that might be okay. I don't see that big picture.
Right.
So that's good that we can, it's just a continuous thing.
And I think like you just said, turning on loose too, and being okay with the fact that as a lot of times as science teachers, we want things to go this way because it's new and visual. And so turning them loose with the guiding question and then saying, okay, have at it.
It can be,
Keep it down to a low roar, but just enjoy the learning process. Sometimes stress is
Mhm.
And if somebody walked in the door and said, "What are y'all doing today?" they hopefully could say, "We're testing bone strength.
Yeah.
We're going to see how much bone can withstand."
I think one of the best things about what you did is you took that motivation and you turned it into a race or something to really give them more motivation.
Right.
Because sometimes it seems like they get on that rabbit trail and it's hard to get back.
Yeah.
So that was really good. So moving forward, when do you think we could meet again and try this out to see if we could help go back to that guiding question, giving it to them, being more purposeful in that question?
Guiding questions in general or this specific one?
Guiding questions in general.
I think we're getting ready next week to transition to the muscular system. So it'll be a really easy time to say what we're going to shift. Remember how we used to guiding questions and bone strength? Now we're going to talk about how muscular system and skeletal system work together to promote movement, to give us strength, etc. And so I think that next week or even the week after, we easily could have a guiding question and see, was it easier with the skeletal system because we were doing something manipulative wise, or was it easier for them with muscles because they're more familiar with muscles, they can see their muscles,
Right.
So I think easily we could do that again.
Okay. And a suggestion, what do you think about, you said, given this checklist not only for you, but for the students, part of the science and engineering practices, which is part of your goal, is for the students to develop questions.
Right.
What if at some point in a lesson you gave them this checklist and they had to develop an effective guided question
Oh, I like it.
based off of
Sure.
their contents? Do you think that could be something
I
that
think
would?
there's more easily effective with this, but they will have a balloon and they inflate the balloon, they draw a face on it, and then they draw all the facial muscles. And that way that
that's
helps
cool.
them to see where they would be
Right.
on our face, which would be inflatable versus just a flat balloon.
Uh-huh.
But then we also have them paint their arm muscles, their forearm muscles, and they go around and get their teachers to sign if they can identify correctly the different arm muscles. So I think in either of those cases, can they yeah, those are fun, but can you tie it back to the standard?
Right.
Can you, and so giving them this and then having them develop a question, it would be a good test of me too to see, did they get what I was wanting them to do,
Right.
or are they completely in the field and I need to fine tune?
And to
My
really get the
instruction.
overall picture.
Right.
Because getting one little thing is really
Right.
good. It's hard
Right.
to tie that
Mm-hmm.
that all in. Well, that's perfect. My last question is, how committed are you to this goal?
Like 1 to 10? Or want to do it
1 to
again?
5.
I think guiding questions are great because a lot of times we just tell kids,
Right.
here's what we're doing. So I think they're naturally curious, and we switch it out of them from early on. Because they tell us that they're listening. We're
Right.
going to do this. Here's what we're going to say. It's going to take 20 minutes, and we're going to do this next thing.
Mhm.
And so I think just by nature of asking a question, that puts their guard down, that increases their curiosity right off the bat. So I think it would be an excellent kind of guide. We already do daily starters, but kind of changing those unit pages from standard. Here's my
Right.
unit goal. Here's how I'm going to get there. How could you improve? And give them some opportunity to think about that. How could I improve? And so not just guiding questions, but ask questions.
Yeah,
Questions
just
in
asking
general.
questions.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, I really appreciate you letting
Thank
me be
you.
a part of this and getting to have the opportunity to coach you.
Thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time.